Hey, good morning. It's Brandon. Hey, I get this comment a lot from the people that I work with in the Well-Built Humans Kettlebell Collective, and we do the same warm up every single day that we train. And the comment that I get from them often is, "My body feels so much better. I feel like I'm so much more flexible. I'm so much more mobile. I'm in less pain." Now that can be a combination of things, all right? So I'm not saying I have the secret sauce when it comes to mobility, flexibility, soft tissue work, etc. However, I think it's important to develop a routine that you can do nearly every single day, certainly before every training session, but you can do even on your recovery and rest days, just to improve your body, okay? So I'm going to go through what we go through every single day before we train in the Well-Built Humans Kettlebell Collective, okay? So give you a little insight before I dive in. So it kind of goes, this is the method to my madness, is there's a joint by joint approach to creating mobility in our body, okay? So we have to address soft tissue work and mobility exercises with combination of some flexibility exercises leading into a workout, okay? And it's also got to be relatively, in my opinion, it's got to be relatively efficient. It can't be 30 minutes long. You know, some people will have this long, elaborate, and I'm not saying it's wrong, it's just not for me, 30-minute deal where you got to do all these things to get your body primed before it can even work out. It's like, look, most people do not have that time. My goal when I work with people is to get them in and out in about 30 minutes from when they step in and they sit on that lacrosse ball for the first time to when they're done huffing and puffing working out with kettlebells. Done. 30 minutes. Sometimes it goes to 40 on a longer workout. But even if you're watching this and you're used to 1 hour, 2 hour time frames in the gym, you're like, wow, really? 30, 40 minutes total? Yeah. Because if people can squeeze that into their busy lives, man, in my opinion, it's a recipe for success. So let's dive in, okay? So here's where I start. Let me get my Crocs off. Okay, I always start with soft tissue work on the bottom of my foot, okay? So really simple, find a hard object. I like to use a lacrosse ball, all right? And then all I'm doing here is I'm just rolling on it. Okay? Nothing super complicated, super scientific. I'm just rolling on it, trying to get all the pieces of the bottom of my foot. I'm going to put a good amount of pressure. If you're starting off with this, you're probably going to be like, it's going to be a little tender, but it's kind of a hurt so good type of deal. As you do this in the future, feel free to put more pressure and get in there. You know, you can even step on it at some point too. But I'm just rolling around. I'll go side to side. Because in order for the whole kinetic chain to open up, we have to have good tissue quality on the bottom side of our feet. If we don't have that, the rest is history from the ground up. Think about it, right? Okay, so this is where we start. I'm not going to go through the whole thing in the amount of time I would spend doing it. Okay, but so we start on our feet. All right, then I go down to my glutes. I'm going to put this right underneath my butt. And again, it's going to be tender for some people that don't do this. You can use a softer implement for a while, but I'm just rolling around. I'm trying to get all the parts of my glute max. And I can feel my hip bone. Okay, so I'm kind of working around, I'm working around that hip juncture with the ball. Okay, and then I'm going to just do some opening up of the hip while, again, I'm working around that hip and I'm just opening up my hip, as you can see. And then I get on my glute medius. I even get a little bit of hip flex here, but I'm on the side, I'm on that lacrosse ball, and I'm just finding tender spots and I'm just kneading it out like a rolling pin, okay? So then I would obviously do the other side, okay? I don't just do one side. After I get my glutes, one of these things, I think these are worth, I think I paid maybe $5 for one of these bad boys. They're awesome. I think it's called a mobility peanut, but this is where my spine sits, okay? So I'm just gonna lay back, okay? And first I'm gonna go for my mid-back. I'm not going all the way in my lumbar spine. I'm going, this is a thoracic spine mobility drill. So it's on my mid-back. I'm gonna give myself a big hug. I'm gonna get my hips off the ground, and I'm just gonna go up to the top part of my back, not onto my neck, top part of my thoracic spine. So basically up to my traps. So I'm gonna do that 10 times, and then once I've done that 10 times, I'm gonna do some extensions, some thoracic extensions, okay? So about mid-back, I'm gonna support my neck, elbows in. I'm gonna keep my hips posteriorly tilted, okay? Like a dog humping your leg, that's how I explain that. Like a dog humping your leg, that's how you want your hips. And then extend. You can do this with a foam roller too. Extend, extend, down. Then move up your spine, try to move up one vertebrae. Extend, 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 move down, extend, extend, or excuse me, move up, extend, extend. All right, and you'd be surprised how many cheap adjustments you get right there. Okay, then I grab my kettlebell, okay, and I'm gonna do some gut smashes, okay? So I'm gonna set it this way, and I'm gonna try to hit my deep hip flexors called a psoas, okay? Kind of sounds like sore ass, but psoas, okay? So that connects deep into my spine, and if you find your belly button, it's just to the right, and about an inch to the right, inch down is usually where you can find it, and it kind of strings up right through here, deep into your spine, okay? So I'm going over it with my kettlebell handle, all right? And you gotta relax. And then I just like to move waves side to side. It'll feel like a band, okay? Like a tight fiddle string. And you're just gonna move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Try to relax, it's tender. And then move up on it a little bit, side to side, back and forth, okay? I like to go low, middle, high, okay? And then I'm gonna go on the other side, obviously, okay? Then after that, I grab a foam roller, okay? And I'm doing my hip flexors, okay? So right here, from my hip bone, here's my quad. I'm working this area on the foam roller, okay? So I'll just do this about 10 times, down and back 10 times, kind of move over side to side, try to hit that entire area. And then I'll get my IT band real quick, which is this band that runs all the way down the lateral side of your hip. So I just get on the side and do that about 5 times. Now this is usually really tender for people, so some people put their foot down here and they do that, okay? And then obviously I get the other side. And then move into a 90-90 stretch, okay? So I'm gonna be 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, okay? Then I'm just gonna come over the top, I'm stretching, okay? I'll probably hold about 30 seconds here, and then I reach back, grab my back shin, and I stay, and I reach back, and now I'm getting an internal, external hip stretch, lats. Then obviously we switch it around and do this side too. Stretch here for about 30 seconds, here for about 30 seconds, all right? Getting our hips opened up, and then do this half kneeling position. Some people call it like a couch stretch if you can get your back foot on something, but I'm squeezing my glutes, driving forward to get a hip flexor stretch, okay? And then I'll even reach over. I like to, when I warm up, I don't like to just do static stretching. In some positions I do, but I like to kind of rock. I like to fire my glute, squeeze, get my hip flexor stretch, just kind of like a mobility drill. Boom, boom, and I'll reach, reach, reach. I'll do that, I don't know, about 10 times. And then, this is just for balance. Okay, I'm gonna grab my back foot, and now I'm getting a quad hip flexor that's in complete junction. I'm opening up. Okay, I'll hold that for, I don't know, 10 to 15 seconds. And then I do the other side, right? Rock, rock, reach, reach, and then grab here. Okay? Once I've gotten that far, I'm gonna move into ankle rockers, okay? So ankle rockers, I'm gonna lean up against this bench, but I wanna show you from this angle, okay? I'm gonna be flat-footed. I'm driving my knee past my toe, okay? While keeping my heel drilled through the ground. Just gonna rock back and forth, creating ankle mobility. Most people have really poor ankle mobility, like right here, and it really jacks everything up. It's really hard to squat. It's really hard to squat. That's my son in the background. Okay, so I'm gonna lean up against this and I'm gonna rock on this front foot 10 times. Okay, then I'll do the other side 10 times. All right, after that, I'm gonna grab, you can do this with a band or a PVC pipe. I'm gonna use a PVC pipe. My arms are straight, okay? And I'm gonna grab only as wide as I need to in order to wrap all the way around. So you should feel a stretch in your pecs and your shoulders while you do this, okay? So I'm gonna do this 10 times. See the sideways. After you've done 10, you can do a little slightly angled if you want. Okay? Just play around with it. You'll notice how your shoulders begin to loosen up. Okay, after that, go into elbow. There's probably a fancy name for it. I call it elbow to ankle and rotate. I guess I'm not fancy. So here, all right, you can see my back leg, my back knee is off the ground. Okay, so now I'm getting some hip flexor mobility, but I'm taking this same side elbow, same side ankle. I'm coming down, touching my elbow to my ankle, or I'm aiming there anyway. And then I open up on that side. Okay? Show you the other angle. Here. So I'm getting some thoracic mobility and rotation there too. All right? Then I got one more drill that we do, and then we get ready to work out. Okay? It's the deep squat drill. I think this is the holy grail, man, of mobility. If you're able to do this, I feel like just routinely later into life, if you're able to do this, man, you are a pretty functional human being. So I'm gripping the ground with my feet, screwing my feet into the ground. I'm grabbing underneath my toes. You can bend your knees as much as you need to in order to do that. You don't need to be straight-legged. Okay, but now I'm going to use that as leverage. I'm going to pull myself deep in this bottom position here. Okay? Notice how my elbows stay locked out and straight and inside of my knee. Okay? So, right here, I'm still hanging out in my heels. Okay, I'm not forward, although some of you might struggle with that because your ankle mobility isn't great yet. But as your ankle mobility improves, it tends to improve the whole kinetic chain. As all of those joints, your ankles, your hips, your thoracic spine, all those improve, man, you'd be surprised that you can get here in a short amount of time if you're consistent with this routine. Okay, then chest up, then I go butt up, 1, 2, butt down, 1, 2, butt up, 1, 2, butt down, 1, 2. We usually do this 5 times, but you can do it up to 10 times. Okay, and on the 5th one, I take my hands out of my toes, okay, like this praying position, and I'm prying my knees open, and I'm holding this for 10 seconds. Okay? I was holding this for 10 seconds. Come out of that, and then I pick up that kettlebell, and I get cranking. Enjoy that mobility routine, do it consistently, and you'll notice results. Make sure you add exercise to it afterwards in the form of a kettlebell. Well Built Human signing off.